Insights with Terri Ep.215, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.215. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.215. Thank you for joining me on this week to explore April the 20th through the 27th, 2025. Thanks for your time. I take great gratitude in you spending the time with me, because that's the biggest price we can pay is spending our time, and I thank you so very much. Now, where are the planets right now? We've got some really interesting energy, not so much with the planets as some of the, I would say, coinciding energy fields that are supporting and or putting pressure on some of the situations that are going to be offered to us in this next little bit, not just this next week coming, but just in the next little bit, to teach us, not to crush us, but every time we have a challenge and we overcome that challenge, or we at least stand up to the challenge, that offers another strength for us. Excuse me, another tool that goes into our toolbox and helps us work with the next set of whatever is handed to us. So experience, right? That's the energy field that is being offered to us to help us learn, grow, become the people that we are supposed to become. All of that is incredibly important. So let's look at this as what's being shoved at us so that we can learn, grow, and become even better than when we started, which is kind of the point to our existence in this life, is to end our lives a better person, more understanding, more compassion, loving each other a little bit more, and not let life take more from us than it gives us as far as how we are in our soul. So we are entering that Taurus time now, which is the bull. It's strong, it's determined, can be stubborn. So we have to be very careful not to stubborn ourselves out of maybe some opportunities just because we'll cut our own nose off, maybe to spite our face. So look at your energy, look at your behavior pattern. Am I being ridiculous? Am I being more determined than I am stubborn, or am I just stubborn? So just kind of look at that and say, what is this benefiting? And Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that was in Pisces for quite a while. And it was going retrograde. Boo-hoo-hoo. It was a tough one. We had quite a few other things going on as well. And then on the 17th, that turned into Aries. Now we have the bull and we have Aries. Those are two very different energies. The bull is considered. It is a slower moving energy, more profoundly determined. And Aries is the ram, goat, fast, impulse. So those two energies are going to kind of lock horns and fight for dominance. Which one's going to win? And that's going to be your choice. What side do you lean on? Maybe you need to think fast and make a quick decision. Then you're going to pull in the Aries energy. Maybe you need to make a slow, very careful decision, and that's when you're going to pull in the bull. So we are allowed to choose what behavior patterns, what energy fields we want to live in. So it's just like the two wolves, good wolf, bad wolf. Who are you going to feed? Are you going to feed the good wolf, or are you going to feed the evil wolf? You decide which one of these energies you want to feed for that particular situation that you're dealing with. And then Venus, the planet of love and beauty, was in Pisces. Again, that's that psychic energy field. And then on the 15th, it was going direct. On the 15th, it's still in Pisces, but it's now going direct as of the 15th. So most of our planets now have seen the stop-start, that stationary, and then starting up again, which can be very, very difficult to live in. And then now, hopefully, fingers crossed, things will go just a little bit smoother now, because we got our stride. So it's kind of like sitting on a horse that's taking off. I don't know how many of you have ridden horses, but if you are at a standstill and you dig your heels into that horse, oftentimes they'll just use that back end and you're off and running, and you might not stay on the horse. You might be left behind, depending on your seat. And then Mars, the planet of our drive and our passion, that's in Cancer. And on the 19th, that changed to Leo. So a lot of changes have happened in the next little bit. So we have the fire of the Ram. We've got the fire of Leo. So we've got to be really careful not to create a forest fire here. The ruling planet of Aries in Mercury, which is how we think, is Mars. So that's generally a predisposition to fight rather than try to compromise. And then the Lion, if any of you own cats, piss them off and just see what happens. It won't take long to find out. So we have that energy that we have to try to temper. At the beginning of the week, our vulnerability will be our calf, the ankles, the extremities. And then more towards the middle of the week-ish, if you have a vulnerable foot, if your feet are a little bit on the oochy side, that might be an issue. So take care of those little feeties before the middle of the week. Be proactive. Tell them how much you love them and give them nice, soft, cushy shoes that won't make them yell and scream and holler at you. And then the end of the week, we go right from our feet to our head. And that is the tongue, the teeth, the head. So if you're predisposed to sinus, or if you're predisposed to headaches, or anything in your mouth, that can, like sores, canker sores, or anything of that nature, burning tongues, be careful. So it can predispose you to that. So cool your food off before you shove it in your mouth. If you can't hold it in your fingers, don't just shove it in your mouth to put it in a place. And I've seen people do that. I've done it myself. So try to take care of your little mouth there. And like I said, if you are predisposed to headaches or anything to do with your teeth, you might want to be on top of that and just try to get ahead of the game. The number that was given us with the way the planets are is number 6 this week. Number 6 is about choices. And interesting, we're going to do a couple of little cards, and the number 6 in one of the major cards came up. So that's doubling down, and we're going to discuss that. But 6 is choices. And it often is necessary to make, of course, we want to make the right decisions, but we are going to be faced with having to make those decisions in the face of emerging difficulties and or opportunities. So we can make this an obstacle that we bang our shins on, or we can make this a stepping stone to the future. Which one are we going to do? That's really going to be the rock in a hard spot that they'll put us in. The card of the Lovers is the one in the tarot deck that is a major card, and it's number 6. And that usually can indicate romantic relationships, things to do with family, home, foundations. And then they want us to build, with this number 6 and where the planets are, a foundation for success, of course, but by helping others. And you know what? Somebody texted me something this week which was really profound. Actually, I should have had it ready. Basically, he's on the spectrum, and out of his many children, they are on the spectrum as well. And he is so patient with these kids. He is so understanding. It brings tears to my eyes to watch him with his children. And one of the things he said, I had said to him I told him how patient he was and how he nurtures them and makes them feel good about themselves sincerely. And he said, the way to happiness is making somebody else happy. And in that deed, we become happy ourselves. Like, how simple is that? How simple is that? And how true is that? So it was a good noogie for me in the head. Get with it, Terri. Remember these things. So helping others is going to be the key to this week. Looking at what other people need. How can I be of service to this one? You're not going to make a slave of yourself, but sometimes a little word, a little deed can help somebody so much, or let them feel honored and respected. We're going to be looking at a romantic relationship energy field a little bit different this week. We're going to try to maybe, or we are going to be put in the position of looking at these relationships, and from a scrutiny point of view, how does our partner meet our needs and our expectations? And on that note, how do we, as somebody's partner, possibly, or friend, meet the needs of that person and their expectations of us? Sometimes they're not even realistic. But if they are, how better can I do? What other things can I look at to make this a little bit better? Am I listening? I mean, not just stop talking. Am I hearing? So we're being offered an opportunity for harmony in our relationships, opportunities to be successful in love, in marriage, in life. Oh gosh, isn't that wonderful? And to achieve that, it's going to be necessary to find willingness in the other person and ourselves to make those compromises. They don't just fall in our lap and grow flowers. So this is I think, a really good energy. And it tries to push us a little bit to take care of our health too, to maybe look at our health and recognize how important it is to feel good so we can accomplish our soul's purpose. So that's what the number 6 is offering us for this week. A couple of the cards, major cards, to demonstrate how important this next little bit of time is. One of them was the Ace of Swords. Swords being the mind, how our mind works. Now this was upside down. When it's in its natural position, we know what we want. We know what we want, and we are so ready to go for it and get there and just do it. Because we're clear. We're clear in what we want. We're clear in how to get there. We have a picture. We have a vision. When it's upside down like this, it's not exactly the case. So what we may experience instead is bullying. We may be the recipient of it. Throwing our weight around, or having somebody throw their weight around at us. Experiencing threats. Excessive force when it's not necessary. A heavy-handedness. That will give a hollow victory. Maybe some cutting words because it's a picture of a sword. Sarcasm. Getting in other people's way of them moving forward. So it's opposing kind of energy. And victimization. So all of this we can be the perpetrators of, or we can be the recipient of. Which one are we? I don't want to be either. I don't want to receive it, and I don't certainly want to do it. So we need to take a look at ourselves and say, are we pushing people around? Are we being thoughtless? Are we mindful of what's going on and what we need to do to help people? And then that card of the Lovers that I talked about, that's right there behind this in a very positive position, asking us, and I don't want to repeat everything again, but just asking us to be aware of our choices. We choose to be good or not good. We choose to be kind or ignorant. We choose to take that moment to listen to somebody and respond kindly, or we choose not to. It's choice. So that's something that we should be aware of in this next little bit. It's supposed to be for a week, but it's not that hard and fast. And then the card of unconditional love came upside down, sadly, because I love unconditional love. That's what the dogs give me, is unconditional love. So when it's right, they just follow me around. Might be a boring thing, but they're there. They're right there following me, collecting the eggs, feeding the chickens, feeding the ducks, feeding the turkeys. I'm sure it's not exciting for them, but because they love me and because I love them and I make sure that it's pleasant for them, they follow me around. And what I try to do is make it worth their while by dropping cookies, little kibbles out of my pocket and saying, here, come and look at this. Maybe finding the odd egg and giving them the odd egg. Oh my goodness, look at that. There was a ball in my pocket. how did that ball get there? And then I'll whip it and everybody's chasing the ball. I try to make it so that being around me is pleasant. And that's what this energy is all about. This upside down Ace of Hearts can be the feeling of, nobody loves me. Nobody called me for my birthday. Nobody calls me to see how I'm doing. I'm always the one that does it for somebody else. That's the thinking that we can get stuck in. But instead of waiting for somebody to do it for you, to you, be the inspiring thing. You do it for them. You do it to them. So it's an energy field that allows us to reverse that unhappiness, that emotional life that doesn't feel fulfilling, and maybe walk into something that we've perpetrated to make it a little bit better. If we don't, we may be finding ourselves recovering from loss and separation and disappointment. And this is about relationships. So that's where the key part of it is. And the last one I want to deal with, it's the number 5, and 5 in numerology is struggle. And anytime I see a 5, I think, oh shoot, oh shoot, it's not going to be easy. And this is the 5 of Swords, which is the mind. This is defeat, but it's upside down. So I like it rather not to be defeated. So if defeat is going to be anywhere, I'd rather it be upside down so that I am not defeated, or that my things, my goals, my hoping is not defeated. And this can be an energy field that can go two ways. It can give us vindication, even if it's in our own mind, or it can give us degradation. And we have to choose how we experience it. So the universe is going to offer some of us situations that will let us decide how we're going to work in them, either vindicating to ourselves, I did that right and I'm a good person, or degradation where I did it wrong and I'm not a good person. I had a couple experiences this week that profoundly affected me and will make me a better person at the end of those situations. Really made me think, where another person was a bigger person than I was, and now I'm going to strive to be better. So that person was very inspiring when I watched what they did. I'm willing to learn from this, and that's what this is all about. So that's what we have this week, kids. This is our struggle, and this is also our victory. So this is what we need to work with. And I want to take this moment to thank Charlie O'Brien for putting this for us up on the different platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, SoundCloud, YouTube. Then he gives me the link and I put it on Facebook. So I thank all of you. The website's dead or dying. It's probably already dead. It's probably got rigor mortis by now. Just became too expensive. So we won't be talking about websites anymore. This is the first time in maybe 3 decades that I haven't had a website. I feel kind of naked, but I'm sure I'll get over it. And if you get a chance, tune into Charlie's Big 8, the number 8 radio station. That's big8radio.com, and he plays all the oldies, and it just is so uplifting, and his voice is amazing. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s, all the things that made us happy, that just made us, I don't know, feel like it was a different time for us, different time than it is now, bringing back memories. If you need a reading for yourself, or you need any help with your animals, don't be afraid to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. And if there's any subjects that you'd like us to cover, I would be happy to entertain that thought. It's always nice to get creative information or different ideas, so I'm very, very grateful for anything that anybody can offer as far as would we like to talk about this. Alrighty? Okay, you guys go and have a good week. Thanks again for listening. Talk to you later. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.